A rumor that my friend sexually assaulted a female friend. Warning, some audiences may find this content disturbing. View at your own discretion. Welcome to the House of Reddit. Today, we share some recent r/TodayIFuckedUp stories posted on Reddit. A rumor that my friend sexually assaulted a female friend. So there's this girl, let's call her Amber, who was famously known in our workplace as a pathological liar. She only had me, male, and her female friend, let's call her Rachel, to believe her, and we comforted her when she needed. A year ago, my friend, let's call him Bob, who worked at the same office with her, wanted to hit on her. They talked about it and she was hesitant, but she kind of agreed. After 2 weeks he tells me this was a fling and he doesn't want anything to do with her. After another week, Amber wants to speak to me privately. She cries and tells me he sexually assaulted her. Now, everyone says to be careful of her, because she always lies, and I knew it too, but Amber was fun to be with when she was happy, so I stick around. To be honest, I liked that I had a female good close friend who saw me as someone who could comfort her and she could talk to. But still, I knew she was lying a lot, or at least exaggerating so much that it became a lie by itself. She was fired from our workplace because she was bad at the job, and also the same for the next 2 workplaces. Her physical condition is terrible for a 20 years old and she sees hospitals every 2 months on average. She tells about sometimes the nurses don't believe her. Anyway, when a girl tells you she was sexually assaulted, I just couldn't not believe her a bit, even if I wanted not to. Her boss didn't believe her because he knew and Bob are close friends for years and was sure there was no way he could do it. So I made sure she reported the case and I left it at it. But now, every time I interact with Bob, I just always have that bit of suspicion in my heart that maybe in some universe she didn't lie. Fast forward a year. A new coworker in my office who was my girlfriend for the last 5 months told me today, that yesterday after the work hours, Rachel told her and a few more people that Bob sexually harassed Amber a year ago. I told her that the reason Jim, a previously close friend of Amber, suddenly blocked Amber from his life was because she told him about Bob. He consulted a few people and decided she is a liar and he doesn't want her in his life. Jim is in the same office with me and my ex. So 3 hours ago Bob, who is working in other company today, drives to meet with me to spontaneously hang out. We talk mostly about work and then he tells me that he even found out a week ago that Amber was in his small company for a month and then got fired. This is when I decide to open it all. Hi Bob, did you know Amber thinks you sexually harassed her? He is really surprised, and even mad because this could destroy him. I tell him she told me and her close friends that in a private office he inserted his hand to her front pants and almost touched her private areas. He looked terrified and shocked and mad at the same time. I should also mention he is the most cut the bullshit man I've ever seen. He just tells people if he doesn't like them, and I never even remotely thought he lied to me in my 4 years of knowing him. Fast forward 2 hours, I am here waiting for him to come out of the police station because he went to file a complaint. Later I will probably need to testify about Amber and Bob characters. I thought he must know some of the rumor, but he didn't know even a bit of it. His blood boiled and he just had to act on it and do it now. We went to the police and they said if she has no proof she cannot sue. Anyway. I typed this post 2 hours ago without posting, but there are news, so here it goes. Holy shit, everyone hates me. I returned to our hanging spot in our building. It's complicated. Me, Rachel, my ex and more are all living in the same building. I had to tell them that the one who blames Bob for harassments is none other than Amber. But everyone who was there were girls and they attacked me so harshly. They never met Amber, who stopped working here a year ago. It didn't matter to them. They were right, I should have told everyone in a better way, but this. I can't even put on words everything I feel right now. I am hurt and I know I've damaged my ex trust in me. We were still good friends. They bashed me for being a man, which means I cannot understand how they feel. They said hurtful things to me. I also behaved in a disrespectful way towards Amber, which wasn't there. I said things that hurt Rachel. It's just that feeling of knowing something for 100% without a doubt, but I just couldn't get them to see what I see. It was so frustrating, and I know I've severed my friendship with some of these girls, especially my ex and Rachel, which were the most close to me. I almost killed 3 people by a tractor. It started on Tuesday when we realized that the farm isn't getting any water. We rely on water from the mountains and streams as well as ponds. But water isn't coming through, so my boss asked me to take the tractor and drive down to the watering hole, water well, and fill up a 1,000-liter tank for the house and the few animals that stay close, like the sheep and young calves, as we have been without water for about 4 or 5 days. We don't want to open the municipal pipes as it would be unnecessary. We have the water well. We have two. One close and one 10 kilometers away for the cattle, so that's the job. Drive to the far water well with the tank and a generator to power the pump and bring back the tank, go back, fill it up again and bring everything back. So we load up the empty tank in the generator, we check to see if everything, the tractor in the gen, has gas. And off we go. And as in we meaning me, Op, one of the other workers, J, the workers' friends GF, L, and the boss's daughter, C, JIP. My boss's daughter wanted to come with, as it would have been boring to stay home. Honestly, it was not boring at all. So we go and reached the well and started to fill up the tank as well as the cattle's water cribs. That takes about 50 to 80 minutes. We left the gen so that it can fill up the water for the cattle and started to go back. Now with an extra ton of weight being pulled, you can't pull at the same speed as what I could without the water. The tractor only has 4 gears, reverse and 1 to 3. Now I can't drive on the 3rd gear, so second best was 2nd gear. Now arriving back at the farmhouse, I have to go over one steep incline. The tractor got up, but could not pull the trailer up as well. Even with it being in 1 sync gear, a tractor needs to be put to a stop to switch to any gear. Now you get high gear, which is for speed more than power, and then there is lower gear, which is all the power and the least speed. It's like the slow, extremely patient. Now I was in high gear 1, it's more than enough to pull the tractor and the trailer up. But not with another ton on it, it seems. So now stuck halfway, I try to push with clutch, did not work. Only rocked everything. So plan B, put it in lower gear. To do this it has to be on a standstill. So I stand up and put all the weight I have in my scrawny body on the brake. But this tractor is old. And the brakes need more than a 60 kilograms dummy to hold it down. So here we are rolling down and start turning to try to reverse in a way. But ended up jackknifing, I don't know how to spell it, the tractor with the trailer. And all that weight, yeah, it pushed the trailer over to its side, with L, J, and C on the back, with the 1 ton of water next to C. Everything fell over. And I could not hear anything. Only the engine of the tractor, so I put it in lower gear and pull away. Somehow I got the trailer to get upright. And then saw L pulling C away to the side. J is trying his best to stop the water from now leaking through the tank that's on its side now. I got the tractor a bit away and ran to help, asking if everyone was okay. I got no answer, but yeah, they all got hurt. J's knee is swollen. C only has a lot of scratches. And L's leg is hurt pretty badly. I was so in the moment to stop all the water from going out, I did not realize my chin is swollen. How the clutch shot back and hit me, left leg, so yeah. After everyone went to get themselves some ice, which will bring down their swelling, I was thinking of how to say this to my boss. Boss, hello, Op. How is everything going? Me, it's bad. And boss, what? What happened? Where we are, there have been a lot of farm murders and people stealing cattle and going over the border with them, selling them after 5 to 10 years. Me, I flipped the tractor and C along with J and L were on it. I managed to get it back up. But even the tank is going through the worst day ever. All the water is going down the path and J hurt his knee really badly. He is pushing through, but I got scared and did not know what to say anymore. I am really sorry. Then it was silent for 2 minutes with me asking and saying hello? Are you still there? I'm really sorry every 10 seconds. Then the call ended. I was so angry and scared. 'Cause I just should have took my foot off of clutch sooner. So yeah. Now me and Jay are back filling up the tank, and to make it all worse, the back right tire popped. That's almost our 4,000 Rand is the South African money. Its value is $1 equals our 16.50. So today I fucked up but damaging a vehicle and putting 3 people in a deadly situation. I don't know if I'm gonna be fired 10 days early or not gonna get paid. Maybe even charged. I don't know. I will probably update at a later time. Bringing Cards Against Humanity to a Graduation Event. So bringing Cards Against Humanity to school is already a likely fuck up, if you get caught. At best, getting caught playing it will lead to an awkward conversation with a teacher, but it could end up much worse. Luckily, I and the group I hang out with are all around 16, so we are only 2 years off from the playing age limit, so most teachers don't think much of it. For anyone that might not be aware of the game, it's an age limit 18 plus card game filled with dirty jokes, adult language, and generally unschool friendly material. One other thing is it comes in this long rectangular box, maybe 20 centimeters long or so, packed with 600 or so cards, and it is a pretty heavy case to hold. So to set the scene, my school has a 2-floor open space science building. The building has this sort of semi-bridge path, leading to my locker, over a walkway that goes to the stairs. We had played a few rounds of Ka earlier in the week, but notably, we always did it near the design workshop since it's separated from the main hub where teachers are, and usually the teacher that petrol there are okay about us playing it at break. Today was the first time we had sat at the science building, as we discovered that they had blocked the path to the design workshop building since there was the graduation ceremony being held there, a minor hassle, but this is important. I was going to put Ka back in my locker, but by the time they realized that the path to the design workshop was blocked, I was too lazy to, so just kept it. This is mistake 1. I was numb that we couldn't play Ka as there were too many teachers around, but luckily my friend had brought some other cards to play, so we just played that for the break. All goes well and I begin walking back to my locker over that bridge path between the two buildings to put Ka back. Well, here is where mistake 2 comes in. I held it in this odd vertical position underneath my school blazer, just to avoid awkward stares from people that might know the game, so I was kind of not focusing on it and it wasn't very supported. Mistake 3 was not looking where I was going. The bridge path that I was walking on has this downward tilt since it is really weirdly designed. Well, on the topic of design, the railings between the two sides have these really big gaps which were the perfect size for things to fall through. Well, I feel like most of you can see where this is going. Without looking where I was going, the full 600 worth packet of cards cascades from beneath my blazer, spreading cards filled with dirty innuendos and way too many dick jokes all across the floor. This is a pretty bad situation to be in, right? Well, you know how I had mentioned that it was graduation day? Little did I know that at that moment the entirety of the Year 12 cohort, parents and friend of the college, and just about every notable teacher and staff, not to mention the principal, were standing about 5 meters down the path that went underneath the bridge as they finished their goodbyes and final celebrations before graduating. So here I am, nothing to do but look on in horror as all 600 cards are sent in all directions, including to the side of the bridge where they slip through the guardrails and waterfalled onto the path below where just about every person in the school that can give me detention is standing. It was a quick cleanup with the help of my friends and some teachers that I just pray didn't see any of the cards or know the game, but I am 99% sure that many of the cards that fell off weren't picked up. I'm just praying none of the teachers realizes they are mine. Revealing my cousin's darkest secret to his mom. So 10 years ago, my cousin-in-law got caught cheating on my cousin with her coworker by my cousin's best friend. My cousin eventually found out and wanted payback, so my cousin then slept with his coworker. This coworker of his eventually got pregnant with his baby. I'm not close at all with my cousin, but apparently, he was an asshole about it when she broke the news to him. He claimed that she was a slut and that she slept around with everyone at work, so it couldn't have been his. She eventually took a DNA paternity test, and behold, he is the father. My cousin-in-law, yes, still married, knew everything, and my cousin and cousin-in-law mutually agreed they didn't want any relationship with this girl and his new son. They started a new life 300 miles away, and I haven't heard anything about them or the drama. 3 years later, I met this one amazing girl, still with her, and it's almost been 8 years together. We easily clicked in the beginning. We're perfect for each other. 6 months into our relationship, my girlfriend wanted me to meet one of her closest girlfriends. One night we finally met up to have a nice dinner. This girl walked up to us, and my GF introduced us. In the first 10 minutes of our dinner, I noticed she kept looking at me in a certain way. She finally asked what high school I went to and where I worked and whatnot because she said I looked very familiar. I never once saw her in my life, so it didn't ring a bell. A few minutes later, she got a phone call that her son needed to get dropped off. She asked us if it was okay, and my GF and I said we didn't mind. 20 minutes later, she steps outside to get her son. As soon as they reached the table, I then notice how familiar her son looked. She didn't get to introduce him right away because he had to go to the restroom, and my GF and she were doing small talk. For a few minutes, I kept thinking why he looked so familiar. When he finally got back, she finally introduced us, and behold, he has the same name as my cousin, and then that's when it finally clicked. I didn't want to say anything in front of her son because who knows what she told him about his father. After dinner, we headed to our cars. Her son went inside the car first. That's when I asked her where she worked and eventually broke the news to her and my GF. We were all in shock. It wasn't awkward, but we all just laughed about the current situation. We talked about how small the world was and how we were all connected in a way. To this day, us three have a good relationship with each other. I'm not one to pry or tell other people's business, so we had no drama whatsoever. Years have passed, and I found out my cousin is struggling financially, especially because of the pandemic. I recently found out he's also paying the standard amount in child support, plus he has a handful of his other kids to support. This is where it gets crazy. My aunt, my cousin's mom, is a controlling psycho that thinks she's above everyone else in the family. Although she's successful and wealthy, she loves to flaunt. She's the typical rich Asian mom who's allergic to being humble. She and my mom are extremely close. One day at my parents' house when I was visiting, my aunt also happened to be there. However, my mom and aunt got into an argument about how my sister wasn't making enough money to help around the house. My aunt then dared to call my sister a loser and nothing like my cousin. My sister suffered from depression and major anxiety, so it affected her for a few years. I've always been overprotective of my sister, so when she said that in front of me, I snapped and said, "Oh, come on. You don't even know your son. You act as you do, but you don't even know how many grandkids you have. At least my sister never committed infidelity." I then stormed off and went home. A few hours later, my mom called me to clear the air. Even though I told her the truth, she belittled me for being disrespectful and causing drama. I barked back and said that she was for not defending her daughter and instead always chose her sister's side before her kids. The phone call ended on a sour note. Hours later, hell broke loose. My aunt messaged me on Facebook shortly after. She knew everything. She had the audacity to say it was my fault for why my cousin is struggling financially. She said, "How can I be friends with a slut that took advantage of her son?" Like what? She claimed that if I had said something 8 years earlier, then she would have sent her lawyers to my cousin's side to fight it in court, and he wouldn't be struggling financially right now. Seriously. The DNA test proves that he's the father. Not sure how you can win against that. I then replied with, "Your son is the coward for not owning up to his mistake. If he had agreed to send some money to help raise his son, it wouldn't have been settled in court, so now he's ordered to pay a lot in child support. Instead, your son ran away, thinking he can get away from it. Don't blame me for your son's actions. Blame your son and daughter-in-law since they both committed infidelity." I then followed up with that by sending a photo of her grandson that she never met with the caption, "Meet your grandson, his name." Mind you, he's the spitting image of my cousin. She blocked me right after that. Some cousins on that side that I'm not close to at all also had the nerve to message me asshole followed by blocking me. If you enjoy this video, please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you have any suggestions for future videos, please let us know in the comments below. Turn on the notifications to know when we post new videos. Thank you for coming to the House of Reddit.